A Business Information Guide. Chapter 1. Business Information 1. General Business Information. Most public libraries have good business sections. Visit your local library. Get to know its resources. In addition to books, many libraries offer free workshops for business owners. Ask the librarian for current copies of zoning regulations. Read books in your field, computers, healthcare, crafts, etc. Read about business skills, advertising techniques, financing, etc. Look for good business magazines. There are a wide variety of local and national business organizations out there. They offer everything from camaraderie to group rates on health insurance. A periodical directory lists magazines in many different topic areas so you could network your way into the information you're looking for that way. Some databases are Business Dateline on Disk, Business Index, Business News Bank, Predicast's FNS Index, Wilson's Business Abstracts. The Business Periodicals Index describes magazines and journals in the business field. Many libraries have business databases on CD-ROM where you can find a corporation's address simply by typing its name into the database. There are a variety of business reference books. Hoover's Handbook of World Business, Hoover's Handbook of American Business, Hoover's Handbook of Emerging Companies, Hoover's Master List of 2,500 of America's largest and fastest growing employers. A useful books in the library is the Encyclopedia of Associations, a 3-volume set which tries to describe and provide the addresses of organizations and associations from all fields of life spanning the realm from recreational to trade organizations. They categorize the different fields in over 20 categories. There's a book called Associations USA published by OmniGraphics.com, 800-875-1340. I found it at #061 at the library. Contact your local or district office of the U.S. Small Business Administration, SBA.gov, to learn about SBA services and publications. The SBA also offers free or inexpensive workshops and counseling through score.org, a volunteer program sponsored by the SBA through which retired executives who have management expertise are linked with owners/managers of small business or prospective entrepreneurs who need help. The following federal government departments all have publications and services to inform and support you. Department of Commerce, DOC.gov. Bureau of the Census, Census.gov. Department of Defense, Procurement, DefenseLink.mil. Department of Labor, DOL.gov. IRS, ask for the free business tax kit, IRS.gov. Federal Trade Commission, FTC.gov. Government Printing Office, access.gpo.gov/su_docs. Local and state government offices may also have services to help you. Addresses will be available in this book, your telephone book under U.S. Government, at your public library or at the SBA office near you. The World Almanac contains a lot of general business information. It has a chapter on associations and societies where they list them in alphabetical order. You might find it at #031 at the library. Business books are at number 338 and #650-659 at the library or at HD, HF, and HG of the Library of Congress system. The major practical business books at the library are at #650.1, 658, 658.4, HD 27 to HD 72, HF 53 to HF 5350, HD 4028, and TS. #650-651 generally deals with job search topics while number 658 deals with all manner of business topics like marketing, e-commerce, moonlighting, etc. #658.10-15 contains books for business starters. Try #331.702, #658.041, HD 62 to HD 2341 and MD 2333 at the library for books about home businesses. Legal books for business are at hashtag 346.73 at the library. Go to number 353 and number 354 or HG 4090 for government-related books, some of which relate to business. At hashtag 380-382, there are some business resource and world trade books. Number 331 is the section for jobs and job hunting, but there are business books mixed in there, particularly at hashtag 331.2592 or HF 1106, which is a business education section. At hashtag 332.024 or HG 179, there are a few books on how the business owner should allocate his assets, essentially how much should he put back into his business versus how much he should take out to spend to enjoy his life and invest on his own in other ways like stocks, mutual funds, etc. If you're interested in companies and corporate life, you'll find biographies of CEOs and books about specific corporate profiles at hashtag 338.7621 to hashtag 338.76- hashtag 338.8897 or HD 38 to HD 9710 at the library. The biography section at the library goes from number 920 to number 929. You can probably find biographies of some of your favorite business tycoons there. If you feel you need to learn general etiquette and business etiquette, try number 395 at the library. Many libraries have special sections for employment and business in addition to the regular stacks. Bookstores usually stay current with the latest business books. 650 business. 651 office services. 652 writing. 653 shorthand. 655 printing and related activities. 657 accounting. 658 management, mail order, advertising, grants. 659 miscellaneous. The directory of directories might also help. If you need an address or a phone number, you might not even have to go to the library. Simply call your local library up on the phone, ask for the reference desk and they might look it up for you right over the phone. The Trade Names Dictionary published by Gale Research Co., Gale.com, lists 100,000 products and their manufacturers. The American Salaries and Wages Directory by Gale Research, Gale.com, and the American Almanac of Jobs and Salaries by Avon Books cover salaries in different job categories. Polk's Directory of Banks, 2001, Elm Hill Road, Nashville, Tennessee, 372-10800-827-2265, is a monster of a book that contains everything you ever wanted to know about banks plus addresses. A smaller, more manageable book is McFadden's American Bank Directory, 6195 Crooked Creek Road, Norcross, Georgia, 300-92404-448-1011. They also publish other business-related books. These books are at number 332 at your library, probably in the reference section. Specific business topics at the library. Accounting, 657.044, HF 5635. Advertising, 659.109, HF 5813. Business communication, 658.45, HF 5718. Business consultants, 658.46, HD 69. Business data processing, 658.405, HD 30.2. Business management, 658.4, HD 27, HD 72. Business meetings, 658.4563, A56. Business presentations, 658.15, HF 5718. Business success, 650.1, HF 5386. Career changes, executives, 658.409, HF 5382.5. Career development, 650.1, HF 5549.5. Cash flow management, 658.15, HG 4027-28. Clerical/office jobs, 651.370, HD 8039. Companies in trouble, crisis management, 658.4063, HD 49-58. Conflict management, 658.4, HD 42. Consumer behavior, 658.83, HF 5415. Corporate finance, 658.15, HG 37206, HG 4026. Corporate image, 658.4063, 659.285, HD 58-59.2. Corporations, 658.4012, HD 2785. Corporations, nonprofit, 658.15, 658.8, HF 5415, HG 4027. Corporate turnarounds, 658.406, HD 58.4. Couples in business, 6658.022, HD 2341. Creative ability in business, 658.409, HD 53. Customer service, 658.812, HF 5438, HF 5415.5. Directors of Core, Governing Boards, 658.422, HD 2745. Drugs and Employment, 658.382, HF 5549.5. Employee and Labor Relations, 658.3, HD 8072.5, HF 5549. Employee Motivation, 658.314, HF 5549.5. Employment Forecasting, 650.14, HD 5724. Entrepreneur, 658.42, HB 615. Executive, 658.407, HD 38.2, HD 4965, HF 5500. Expansion, 658.406, HD 62-69. Family Business, 658.045, HD 62.25. Franchise, 658.87, HF 5429. Industrial Management, 658.03, 658.11, HD 30. HD 70. Japanese Business, 658.5, HD 70, TS 155. Job Searching, 650.14, HD 6280. Leadership, 158.4, BF 637. Mail Order, hashtag 658.72, HF 5466. Managerial Accounting, 658.1511, HF 5686. Managing Your Boss, 650.13, HF 5548. Marketing, 658.8, HF 5415. New Business, 658.114, HD 62.5. New Products, 658.575, HF 5415. Operations Management, Production Management, 658.5, TS 155. Organizational Behavior, 650.1, 658.4, HD 58.7. Organizational Changes, 658.406, HD 58. Personnel Management, 650.13, 658.406, He 736, HF 5548. Problem Employees, 658.3045, HF 5549. Production Management, 658.5, TS 155. Public Image in Business, 659.2, HM 263. Public Relations, 659.2, HM 263. Quality Control, 658.562, HD 38, HD 62.15, TS 156. Resume Writing, 650.14, HF 5383. Retail Business, hashtag 658.87, HF 5429. Sales Management, 658.8, HF 5438. Salesmanship, 658.85, HF 5438. Selling a Business, 658.16, HD 393. Service Companies, 658.4012, HD 9981.5. Small Business, 658.022, HD 62-69. Social Responsibility of Business, 658.408, H 60. Success in Business, 650.1, HF 5386. Technology in Business, 658.405, HD 30.2, HF 5415. Telephone in Business, 658.452, He 8735. Time Management, 650.12, HD 69. Women in the Workplace, 650.102, HD 6053. Women in Management, 331.481, 658.409, HD 6053 HD 6055. Workplace, 658.4, HD 66. Business Article Websites. businesslibrary.uflib.ufl.edu/business classics. 1000ventures.com/business_guide. 1000ventures.com/business_guide/crosscutting/new_economy_transition.html. a3k.com/business. excel.com/news.asp, venture capital and other small business topics. allbusiness.com. articleco.com. articleb.mobi. articles.bplans.com. articles.businessinsider.com. articles.cnn.com. articles.net.au/category/entrepreneur. articles911.com. articlesbase.com/article-tag/entrepreneur. articlesfactory.com/articles/business.html. bestmanagementarticles.com. biz5.com. bizland.co.za/articles/k10t.htm. bizonline-content.com. bizops.ca. busymoms.com/r10adv.html. bnet.com/research_articles. boston.com/business. bplans.com, the business planning experts. bpubs.com. bpubs.com/entrepreneur. brokensoft.com/article-directory-business-directory/small-business-articles-directory. buildyourOwnBusiness.biz. business.com. business.mmu.ac.uk. business-articles.net. businessarticles.org. businessarticlesweb.com. businesscompany.com. businessfinancearticles.com. businessfinancemag.com. businessknowhow.com. businessnation.com/library/articles, businesstoolchest.com, businessweek.com. Businessweek.com features topics including advice for undergraduate business students. businessworldarticles.com, canadaone.com, cluetrain.org, the customer is always right. collegejournal.com, Wall Street Journal articles and features. content-articles.com, createbusinessopportunity.com, dbaregistry.com, discussionleader.hbsb.com, dmwrite.com/html/furyngi.htm, the Ferengi rules of acquisition. ebakings.co.uk, education-portal.com/entrepreneur_major.html, emerging-entrepreneurs.com/entrepreneur-articles.php, eng.uci.edu/top/entree.htm, Entrepreneur Articles by Milton Chang. Entrepreneur.com, entrepreneurarticles.info, entrepreneurhome.net, entrepreneurs-journey.com/category/articles, entrepreneur-web.com/articles, evancarmichael.com/entrepreneur-blog-network, fedpubs.com/subject/business/business_survival.htm, the Canadian Small Business Survival Guide, findarticles.com, articles on entrepreneurship, findarticles.com/p/articles/tn_bus, foxbusiness.com, foxbusiness.com/story/personal-finance-knowledge.wharton.upenn.edu/article.cfm reference for business.com online.msbcollege.edu/online-support/library, Globe University/Minnesota School of Business, goodentrepreneur.com, harvardbusiness.com, harvardbusiness.org, harvardbusinessonline.hbsb.harvard.edu knowledge.wharton.upenn.edu knowledge@wharton.com.cnbnet.com/research_articles, hbr.org, Harvard Business Review, hbr.org, Harvard Business Review, hbs.edu, hbswk.hbs.edu, hbswk.hbs.edu, Harvard Business School, hbsworkingknowledge.hbs.edu, homebusinessresourcedirectory.com, ideamarketers.com/category-articles.cfm, ideas.repc.org, in-biz.com, inc.com/articles, inc.com/articles_by_topic, inc.com/business-success/index.html, inc.com/critical news/brief/200703/0307 immigrants.html, immigrant women driving startup growth, inc.com/guide/start_biz/index.html, inc.com, infosys.com, isquare.com, knowledge.emory.edu, knowledge.wharton.upenn.edu, lastminutetraining.ca/articles.php/entrepreneur-articles, lib.berkeley.edu/busy, Thomas J. Long Business and Economics Library, lib.berkeley.edu/busy/bbg.html, resource guides, lulu.com/content, lulspace.com, entrepreneur articles, managementprocurement.net, manyarticles.biz/business, microsoft.com/smallbusiness/resources/overview.aspx, mikesbusinessarticles.blogspot.com, mindpower.smartads.info, mnsbow.com, the Minnesota Small Business Assistance Office and their partner merchant-gould.com have free business publications on their websites. newbusiness-ideas.com, newsknowledge.com, newyorktimes.com, a special section for business owners. Officero.com, business articles. Online.wsj.com, HispanicBusiness.com/entrepreneur, small business and entrepreneur news. Reinvention-institute.com, ready to take your business, or your career, to the next level. Reports-research.com. Resources.bnet.com. reti.go.jp/n/publications. SimpleEntrepreneur.com. SmallBizArticles.com. SmallBizToolbox.org. SmallBusiness.yahoo.com. Small-business-blog.com. SmallBusinessNots.com. SmartCompany.com.au/free articles. Anylife.com/for-business. StartRunGrow.com. Suite101.com/articles.cfm/small_business. Supermemo.com. tlustocksbusiness.com/articles. TheGlassCeiling.com, articles about discrimination and other business issues. TopBusinessIdeas.com/freebusinessarticles.html. tsbj.com, the Small Business Journal. UnitedQuest.net/knowledge.htm. Webmasterlabor.com/online-entrepreneur-articles.html. Whitepapers.silicon.com. Woopaido.com/business_articles. Woopaido.com/business_articles/entrepreneur-articles.htm. Work911.com/articles.htm. wsicorporate.com/articles/entrepreneur. young-entrepreneur.blogspot.com. 0million.com. Chapter 2. Business Information 2. Free business course websites. Allison.com/course/category.php?id=9, Business and Enterprise Skills Online Training Course. hadem.sph.sc.edu/courses/econ/tutorials.html, Economics Interactive Tutorials. Allison.com/course/category.php?id=2, Finance and Economic Literacy. Barrick.cuny.edu/tutorials/statements, Guide to Financial Statements tutorial. Celc.org, Clearinghouse on Entrepreneurship Education. Allison.com/course/category.php?id=9, Free Business Courses. ocw.mit.edu/ocwweb/sloan-school-of-management. Plus. Business Library websites. admarketing.sla.org, Advertising and Marketing Division, Special Libraries Association, SLA. bf.sla.org, Business and Finance Division, Special Libraries Association, SLA. ala.org/rusas/section/brass, Business Reference and Services Section, brass, American Library Association, Reference and User Services Association, ALA-RUSA. ci.sla.org, Competitive Intelligence, Special Libraries Association, SLA. ieb.sla.org, Insurance and Employee Benefits, Special Libraries Association, SLA. jjhill.org/reference-library, James J. Hill Center Reference Library, St. Paul, Min. digital-librarian.com/business.html. novaplaza.com/library.shtml, eLibrary. ala.org, American Library Association. hbrl-sbdc.org, Hawaii. bestplaces.net, business info on cities. boiseestate.edu/archive/buslib1. brinty.com. ceoexpress.com. galegroup.com/dlist/sb5114.html, Business and Company Resource Center. gsb.stanford.edu/library/research/index.html. infotoday.com. jjhill.org. libraries.rutgers.edu/rur_gateway/busy/business.html. library.hbs.edu/guides. loc.gov/rr/business/be-inline/subject-list.php, Business Library Online. missouribusiness.net/iag/index.asp, profiles of industries that consist mostly of small businesses. missouribusiness.net/library. northbyeStar.org, National Bureau of Economic Research. onlinemag.net. rh.edu/library/industry/industry.htm. rh.edu/library/research.htm, Industry Research Guide. slabf.org. som.yale.edu/ssl. valuationresources.com/industryreport.htm. Business reference books. Some of the major books that contain listings of corporations are at hashtag 338.4 to 338.7 and hashtag 650-59 at your library. The 29-volume Thomas Register, thomasregister.com, is the biggest business directory of manufacturers and other companies that I've ever seen. For stock market investment information, Moody's, moodys.com, publishes 6 volumes. Bank and Finance. Industrials. OTC Industrials. Municipals and Governments. Public Utilities. Transportation. Standard & Poor, standardpoor.com, publishes their Standard & Poor's Corporation record made up of 6 volumes. They also publish their industry surveys. Gale.com, galegroup.com, 800-877 Gale publishes. Business Organizations and Agencies Directory. Business Rankings Annual. Encyclopedia of Associations. Encyclopedia of Business Information Sources. Market Share Reporter. Small Business Sourcebook. The Trade Names Dictionary, lists 100,000 products and their manufacturers. Some useful business directories are as follows. To find them, either ask a librarian, type the title into a library database, type it into a search engine or type it into a book brokerage company website like Amazon.com or BN.com. American Almanac of Jobs and Salaries. American Encyclopedia of International Information. American Register of Exporters and Importers. American Salaries and Wages Survey. America's Corporate Families, Dun & Bradstreet. America's Corporate Families and International Affiliates, Dun & Bradstreet. Biography and Genealogy Master Index, Gale Research. Brands and Their Companies, Gale Research. Business Books in Print. Business Information Sources. Business Periodicals Index. Business Rankings Annual, Gale Research. Business Reference Sources. Congressional Quarterlies Washington Information Directory, 800-638-1719. Directory of American Firms Operating in Foreign Countries. Directory of American Research and Technology, RR. Boker Annual. Directory of Corporate Affiliations, Subsidiaries. Directory of Foreign Firms Operating in the U.S. Directory of Foreign Investment in the U.S., Gale Research. Directory of Foreign Manufacturers in the U.S. Directory of Japanese Firms and Offices in the U.S. Directory of Leading Private Companies. Directory of Multinationals. Directory of U.S. Firms Operating in Latin America. Dun & Bradstreet Directory. Dun & Bradstreet Exporters Encyclopedia. Dun & Bradstreet Middle Market Directory. Dun & Bradstreet $1 Million Directory. Dun's Business Rankings. Dun's Industrial Guide, The Metalworking Industry. Encyclopedia of Associations, Gale Research. Encyclopedia of Business Information Sources. Funk and Scott Index of Corporations and Industries. International Bankers Directory. International Corporate 1000, the International Directory of Company Histories. International Directory of Corporation Affiliations. Irwin Business and Investment Almanac. Jane's Major Companies of Europe. Lifestyle Market Analyst, Zip Code Analyst, 800-851 SRDS, srds.com. Major Companies of Europe. $1 Million Directory, Dun & Bradstreet. Moody's International Manual. Multinational Marketing and Employment Directory. National Directory of Corporate Public Affairs, Columbia Books. Principal International Businesses, Dun & Bradstreet. Reference Book of Corporate Management, Dun & Bradstreet. Standard & Poor's Register of Corporations, Directors, and Executives. Standard Directory of Advertisers. Thomas's Register of American Manufacturers. Trade Names Directory. U.S. Industrial Outlook, U.S. Department of Commerce. Wall Street Journal Index. Ward's Business Directory. Where to find business information. Who owns whom, Dun & Bradstreet. Who's who in banking. Who's who in finance and industry. World Business Directory. World Scope Company Profiles, Gale Research. Worldwide Chamber of Commerce Directory. awanabusiness.info. ala.org/rusas/stnd_general_ref_desk.html, Guide to the answering of reference questions in areas of awibi.org, Asian Women in Business. bizcomps.com/bzbusrefguide.html. bspage.com. business.com. business.com/directory/small_business/reference. business-at-home.us. businessden.net. buzzgate.org. buzzle.com. contentforreprint.com/business. dell.com/content/topics/topic.aspx/global/shared/bizportal/n/articles. ehow.com, how to organize business references. en.wikipedia.org/wiki/business_reference_model. Encyclopedia of Small Business. gethelp.library.upenn.edu/guide/business/busrefweb.html. lcweb.loc.gov/rr/business/guide1.html. lib.duke.edu/fsb, the Fuqua School of Business Library. library.wisc.edu/libraries/business. librariespot.com/businessinfo.htm. loc.gov/rr/business, business reference services. loanrock.com/newbusinessreference.htm. maryellane.com/busref2.html. Medicine, Law, and Business. morebusiness.com. multiarticles.com/banking-finance. nelson.usf.edu/reference/subject_guide/business. palomar.edu/library/researchaid/subject-guide/businessref.pdf. referenceforbusiness.com, reference for business. referencepage.com. referenceusa.com, business databases. Do business research. The major ways to do business research are as follows. Look through trade journals. Go to trade organizations, see what they have to offer. Public filings by public companies, sec.gov. Analysts on the Business and Money TV networks. Go to online business information database vendors. Read general business media. Check out competitive companies. See what insurance rating companies say about the company/business field you're interested in. See what government websites say. Do press release searches at news websites. Find experts, employees, and insiders in your particular field of interest to talk to. This could be as innocuous as a few email questions or questions on a newsgroup. Business reference and research books are at hashtag 016.027 and Z675 at the library. Business resource websites. Gabler.com/resource-to-start-a-business.html Piotrvejbovsky.com/business-entrepreneur-starting.html hardcity.info businessonmain.com sagespark.com myownbusiness.org lib.washington.edu/business/bizweb Foster Business Library, business resources on the web. Library.hbs.edu/guides, research guides from the Baker Library, Harvard Business School. gwU.edu/gelman/guide/business, research guides. Libraries.rutgers.edu/rul/gateway/research_guide/busy/business.shtml, research and reference gateway. allbusiness.com. businessinfoguide.com. libguides.rutgers.edu/business, business research guide, links to thousands of business information sources. library.pitt.edu/guide/business, doing business research at the University of Pittsburgh. knowledge.nc.edu. cebr.ust.hk, Center for Experimental Business Research. librariesanddirectories.com. thebusinesslibrary.com. rmlibrary.com. thesafetylibrary.com. thehrlibrary.com. knowledge.nc.edu/index.cfm, professors' insights into a variety of business-related issues and in-depth examinations of business research. thetransportationlibrary.com. 10kwizard.com, fee-based business research stuff. businessobjects.com, business intelligence products. aa2.com, American investors. aei.org, American Enterprise Institute. aicpa.org, Certified Public Accountants. aiip.org, Association of Independent Information Professionals. amana.org, American Management Association. amcity.com, American City Business Journals. aciresearch.com, Television Advertising Research. bankrate.com/brm/default.asp, Bank Rate Monitor. bankrupt.com, Internet Bankruptcy Library. World. barron's.com, published weekly by Dow Jones. barronsuc.com. bestpracticesdatabase.com, fee-based business research stuff. bizjournals.com, free site of business publications. bizweb.com. bna.com, Bureau of National Affairs. briefing.com, business newsletters. brinty.com, the BizTech Network, Brent, resource on information technology and business. brooks.edu. bryant.edu/canderso/buslib. business2.com/webguide, links to websites, companies, profiles of business leaders, answers questions. businessiridetusa.com, business background information on u.s.businesses. business.dis.strath.ac.uk/project/final. business.lycos.com/cornpaney-research/crtop.asp. businesswire.com/expertsource. busref.lib.umn.edu. bbdep.com, Bureau van Dijk Electronic Publishing, the Global Researcher Database, information on public companies worldwide and BankScope, which provides bank information on banks worldwide. carl.org, fee-based, articles, periodicals. carol.co.uk, company annual reports from around the world. cch.com, accounting, insurance, legal, and tax databases. centigram.com, emerging markets wisdom. ceoexpress.com, business research. clickit.com/touch/bizwiz.htm. columbia.edu/cu/lweb/individual/business. companiesonline.com, Private and public companies. CompaniesLeuth.com. Corporateinformation.com, worldwide company profiles. Corptech.com, focuses on high-tech companies. Corpwatch.org/track/research, how to research a company. CranesNewYork.com, Cranes Business Publications. CreditFYI.com, get business credit reports. CSA.com, Cambridge Scientific Abstracts, worldwide directory of market research reports, studies, and surveys. CSA.com/CSA/IDS/IDS-main.html, IDS, the Internet Database Service, worldwide directory of market research reports, studies, and surveys. CSA.com/CSA/journals/journals-main.html, market research reports. Datamonitor.com, business intelligence monitoring company. Demographics.com. Dialogue.com, fee-based business research stuff. DJinteractive.com, Factiva.com, WSJ.com, fee-based business research stuff. DNB.com, DNBMDD.com, million dollar directory, company profiles. DTOnline.com, Deloitte and Touche Business Advisor. econ-datalinks.org, American Statistical Association's database. eries.bus.umich.edu. Euromonitor.com, global market research company. Factiva.com. Fedworld.gov. Financials.com, 10,000 public companies listed. FindsVP.com, business research reports, information advisor newsletter. FISOnline.com, company reports on public and private American companies. Forbes.com/people tracker, tracks business executives. GaleGroup.com. Greenbook.org, New York chapter of the American Marketing Association. Greenwood.com, book the basic business library. GSIOnline.com, global securities information, mergers and acquisitions database by subscription, other business tools. Hoovers.com, company profiles, worldwide. ICI.org, Investment Company Institute. Industry.net, manufacturing firms database. INC.com. IndustryLink.com. Industry.net/home/search-pc.html, directory of manufacturers and distributors. InfoUSA.com, worldwide company profiles. IntegraInfo.com, fee-based, company profiles. IntelliFact.com, business information, company profiles, etc. Internet-prospector.org, Department of State and Corporation databases. InternetProspector.org/charities.htm, research for nonprofit corporations. InvestorAccess.com, European list of links. IRIN.com, annual reports of companies. IWS.ohiolink.edu/companies, company research, research links. Keynote.co.uk, British market information. KnowledgeExpress.com. CompassS.com, worldwide company profiles. libweb.unc.edu/ref-bus/vibehome.htm, virtual international business and economic sources. Vibes, provides international business information. NoX.com, databases of bankruptcies, tax liens, etc. LegalWiz.com, legal business information. Library.hbs.edu, Harvard Business School Library. Library.northwestern.edu. Library.upenn.edu/lipincod. lib.uchicago.edu/e. lib.utexas.edu. lib.washington.edu/business. lp-llc.com/sense/current/home.htm, business sales, some investment info. Manta.com. Marketingbase.com. McKinseyQuarterly.com. mdrt.org, Million Dollar Roundtable. mercurycenter.com/business/money tree, database of who venture capitalists give their money to. methodist.edu/business. methodist.edu/business/tracking.htm, economic indicators. montague.com, business intelligence. multiplex.com, worldwide company profiles. mwt.com, marketing with technology news. nace.org/benefits.asp, National Association for the Self-Employed's benefits list, also links for business websites. netpartners.com/resources/search.html, searches for companies with websites. newspage.com, company info for a fee. nexus.com, fee-based business research stuff. nyu.edu/library/bobst. office.com, office.telebase.com/scribe, business info center. onesource.com, worldwide financial news, statistics, business, worldwide company profiles, etc. onlineinc.com/articles/online-mag. openmarket.com. oss.net, how to find information about any company. planetbiz.com, business sites worldwide. prrs.com, annual report service.com, public registers annual report service, annual reports free via the web. prnewswire.com/cnoc/cnoc, company news on call. prweb.com, database of current press releases. reportgallery.com, annual reports from companies worldwide, also research reports on companies. researchge.com. sec.gov/edgarhp.htm, Securities and Exchange Commission's electronic data gathering, analysis and retrieval. A 10K form will give you an overview of a company's future plans. sedar.com, Canadian Public Corporations. selectoryonline.com, manufacturing company database. silverplatter.com, business listings. skyminder.com, company profiles, worldwide. standardandpoors.com, databases on everything financial and business related. tdb.co.jp, Japanese credit reporting company. technews.com. the-dma.org, Direct Marketing Association. thomasregister.com, tgrnet.com, Thomas Global Register, search from among manufacturers and distributors. tradeport.org/ts, California Companies Database, World Corporations Worldwide. tsbj.com, Small Business Journal Magazine. twsd.com, Wall Street Transcript, archive of interviews with CEOs, CFOs and other high-roller business and investment people. Many industry reports. usadata.com/usadata/market. washingtonpost.com/wpdyn/technology. wesley.stanford.edu/library. wharton.upenn.edu/action/search. worldbox.coin, list of worldwide companies. xls.com, many business databases. Industrial Organizational Psychology Info. I spent about 2 years in military leadership school studying a lot of this type of stuff about how to be effective in an organization. The problem is that people are thinking and feeling human beings. If you try to micromanage them, they rebel. SIOP.org, Society for Industrial/Organizational Psychology. SIOP.org/tip/tip.aspx, The Industrial Organizational Psychologist. SIOP.org/GTP, Graduate Training Programs in IO Psychology. ODnetwork.org, Organization Development Network. ODinstitute.org, the Organization Development Institute. Chapter 3. Business Information 3. Business Database Websites. lib.washington.edu/business/guide/inv.html. plu.edu/tilde-libar/article/business.html wju.edu/library/subject-guide/business.asp-library.humboldt.edu/info-services/indexes/alpha.html Access to Gale databases. loc.gov/rr/electronic resources/full_description.php main ID =91 Access to Gale databases. library.syr.edu/cgi-bin/x databases.cgi Gale databases. unf.edu/library/guide/bases directories.html Gale databases. nypl.org/databases. library.stanford.edu/catdb/alldata.html databases. library.syr.edu/cgi-bin/x databases.cgi databases. magicello.com/categories.html business directory. amex.com American Stock Exchange. analytics.thomsonib.com. astd.org/virtual-community/td magazine training and development. bea.foc.gov/pubs Bureau of Economic Analysis. bis.dowjones.com. bloomberg.com. bloomberg.com/corp/prof/survey/professional. burrells.com. businessminds.com. cch.com. census.gov. dialogue.com. dialogue.com/products/dialogue dnb.com. dowjones.com. edgaronline.com. eiu.com, Economist Intelligence Unit. elsevier.com. epnet.com. fisonline.com. galegroup.com. ftph.com. galegroup.com. gsionline.com, Global Securities. hoovers.com. informate.com. intelligencedata.com. irs.gov, Internal Revenue Service. jstore.com. lexusenesize.com. lexusenesize.com/academic/solutions. marketresearch.com. money.cnn.com. morningstar.com. multiplexusa.com. nasdaq.com. newsge.com. newsge.com/flash. oclc.org. ovid.com. referenceusa.com. reuters.com/products. salesandmarketing.com. sciencedirect.com. sec.gov, Securities and Exchange Commission. silverplatter.com. site.securities.com. standardpoor.com. standardandpoors.com. stat-usa.gov. tcb-indicators.org. tfn.com. thepublicinterest.com. thomasregister.com. thomsonfinancial.com. trees.gov/bulletin. umi.com. valueline.com. workforce.com. wsj.com, Wall Street Journal. Business humor. patentlysilly.com, patents for strange and funny things. thisisbroken.com, funny business foibles. totallyabsurd.com, totally absurd inventions. mrpomguru.com/uncYclopedia/index.php, the encyclopedia of funny misinformation. cubicle.com. dilbertblog.typepad.com. Free business info at business colleges. Many major colleges that offer business as a major have a separate business library. Look for the nearest business library in the directory of special libraries and information centers published by galegroup.com, 800-877 Gale. Most business schools and colleges have free business information on their website. A lot of this information is tailored for the local area they're located in, so find the website of the business school, or Department of Business Administration at the nearest college to where you live and go there looking for local business resources. You might even be able to sign up for government programs and free business assistance there. Thomson Financial Corporation. The Thomson Financial Corporation could be the biggest business research information company around, owning the following websites: thomsonfinancial.com, thomsondirect.com, tfibcm.com, datastarweb.com, international, firstcall.com, stock and corporate analysis, galegroup.com, 800-877 Gale, sells many directories, operates Prompt, a business database. IAC-insight.com, intellescope.com, detailed intelligence information on countries worldwide. InvestEXT.com, Thomson Financial Securities data, investment research. NewsGE.com, business news. Profound.com, business market information. SDPonline.com/index, merger and acquisitions database. Shareworld.tfsd.com, shareholder information for companies, world. TFSD.com, marketing research reports. Thomson-Thomson.com, intellectual property, copyrights, global trademarks and domain names. XLS.com, many databases.